Are you listening? Damn.
Hello, Patrice. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Gene. How about you?
Great. Looking forward to another great discussion today around real estate.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it myself.
Looking to kind of get some information about you.
Okay.
So I know it's been an interesting year in 2021, and a lot of things happened in 2021. So we want to get into your story. We really want to get a chance to understand how you started into the business and see how things kind of changed a little bit in 2021, and also get a chance to talk about what you're going to do in 2022.
Okay.
So tell us quickly, how did Patrice decide that real estate was going to be the route for her, and how did you get into this?
Well, briefly, when I was younger, my grandfather owned several properties in the Bronx, and I would go with him and work on different properties, collect the rent, things like that. So that was kind of always in the back of my mind. But when I was younger, I would draw what we know as floor plans today. Okay. So I ended up going to college for architecture. And while working for a home builder, I would always have to go down to the sales center and, resell the properties because an agent told somebody they could move a wall or, do something construction-wise that, couldn't be done without costing them. And so I decided, let me get my license since I'm selling homes pretty much anyway. And that's how I got into the business. And
is that kind of what helped kind of morph the name Design Realty?
Absolutely. That's exactly how it happened. My architectural design background and my real estate background brought them together, the Designer Realty Group.
So what were some of the challenges that you can say you faced as a new agent coming in?
As a new agent coming in, well, back then, almost 20 years ago, a lot of things were like on a who you know kind of system, and you didn't really get as many opportunities as you do today. So it was a lot harder back then to get, things done without knowing who's who at certain locations. So,
okay. And you were able to overcome that, obviously, without a problem.
Absolutely. I think because of people that gave me some opportunities. One person in particular was a minority as well at one of the firms I worked at, gave me an opportunity to manage some new home communities.
That's really good.
And I took that opportunity, ran with it, did great, did several sales the first week that I was in the position. And of course, your experience and what you accomplished speaks for itself. So that just opened the door to other opportunities.
We were just talking about this earlier. Everyone thinks that being a real estate agent or being in real estate, you're automatically going to make a lot of money. Talk to me about, in the life of a real estate agent, the work, the DNA, and things that you got to do constantly to make sure you can kind of stay afloat and continue to be profitable.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's definitely not what people see on these TV shows where you just open the door, say a couple words, and get a check. You have to be in tune with education, with laws, and they're constantly changing, especially in this day and age. You have to know your clients, you have to know systems, techniques. There's so many things that go into the business, and the thing is, they keep changing. So you learn one thing one year, and then something completely different comes along next year, and so you have to be able to adapt to new things.
I know you're constantly always learning, and I know you're an educator. That's the reason why you have like a real estate school, so it kind of ties right in. So talk to me about your passion with just teaching people about just understanding real estate.
Yeah, I think that working in the business for almost 2 decades now, and you see agents that you do deals with on the other side, things that they don't know, things that they weren't taught. And, even in other companies that I was with, people would come to me asking so many questions. There's a lot of things that are left untaught to people. You go to real estate school and they just teach you the basics, the laws, how to pass the test, and that's pretty much it. They don't teach you how to run a business, how to network, things like that. And those are all very crucial, important things that you need to know in the business besides just, how to pass the exam.
Staying on it, what are some of the do's and don'ts that you've noticed that the agents are doing and should not do? Not to give your whole source away, but what are some of the do's and don'ts that you're noticing?
Not getting to know their clients up front. Some people, they'll get a lead, they'll get a call, an email, text, someone wants to see a home. They don't ask them any questions. They just go and take them to see the home. You don't know their financial qualifications. Even if they have a pre-approval, you don't know if that pre-approval was done correctly. You don't know how much money they have. You don't know if they're, on the border of approval or if they could go a little bit higher. things like that. You don't know their background, their likes, what they're looking for. You might go to show them a house and then come to find out they really require a ranch for their lifestyle, things like that. So I think missing out on the buyer consultation in the beginning is a very crucial step that agents need to do.
Okay. Back to your roadmap. Now, what are some of the things along your journey now that you look back that you would possibly want to change or possibly perfect or sharpen?
Definitely my database.
Okay.
Your database is your gold mine in real estate, and keeping it up to date, because people move, they change phone numbers, their addresses, or their emails change. And you can lose contact with people. That happens in your personal life, people you've known since, you were in school. So let alone clients, you can lose their information. So I think keeping much better track of client contact information in my database is a thing I would do over.
One of the questions I always like to know whenever I have a sit down with someone is that I like to understand their whys, their motivations. Talk to me about some of the things that pushes you to be an entrepreneur, run your own business. What are some of the things that make you want to continue to excel? Because obviously every time we talk, right, you're always trying to sharpen things, make things a little bit better, looking at different ideas. You can see when following your Instagram page, you're different from everyone else. The content that you put out is fitting for you, not for anybody else. So talk to me about some of these things to allow the listeners that may not know Patrice to kind of really get into you and kind of know that why.
I think nowadays, like we were talking about before, there are so many people in the industry that want to put on, and to each his own, maybe a commercial type, advertisement just about themselves, and it's not really about what's going on in the business and how that really helps the client. So I like to be a little more authentic with behind the scenes things, not making everything appear so perfect, on Instagram or social media, because that's not the reality of the business. It's not perfect 100%. And so being authentic and teaching people the real deal about what's going on helps them with their expectations when they go to buy or sell a property. And I always tell my clients, I'd rather you be mad at me in the beginning, knowing the truth, than 6 months from now when you can't find a home or you can't sell your home because you were told something that is not accurate.
So a lot of things change in 2021. So it's like, as professionals, you're taught to how to do business one way, but then you had to pivot a little bit in 21. So talk to me about some of the things that change in 2021 for the better and also for the worse.
Well, definitely for about 6 months, I think we had everything put on hold in New York, especially, where we couldn't show properties. We had all of these guidelines, and a lot of people had to do virtual tours. I was already doing that, but there were a lot of people that had no clue about how to put together a virtual tour, how to even, work Zoom for that matter. And so that was a learning curve for a lot of people. So I think those that were a little more in depth with their knowledge of technology really got an upper hand in that aspect.
And I know you are pretty big when it comes to technology.
Yes. I have this idea of always growing and learning. I've always been like a sponge, wanting to take in everything I can. And you have to think about it like this. Think about a flower or a plant. If it doesn't grow, what does it do? It dies. Yeah. So as a person, you have to continue to grow so that you don't die, professionally in any other way as well.
What is in store for you, Design Realty, in 2022?
So I'm hoping to expand. We just launched our New Jersey division. So I'm looking to expand with more agents in the 3 states, the tri-state area, and then more classes for agents, both new and experienced, who are having, a little difficulty with that transition from the old way of doing business to how things need to be done now.
I'm almost confident you're going to do it exceptionally well in 2022 as you've been, and I wish you all the best in all your endeavors moving forward. So,
and you'll be by my side helping.
I'll be right here.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Gene Volson with UNMB Home Loans.
And I'm Patrice Hayes, broker, school director, Designer Realty.
Are you listening? Damn.